Pigments is a great synthesizer, but with all the options that we have today, you may ask what makes it different. So today I bring you 5 of the best features of Pigments. Having a sampler on any synth opens up nice possibilities, but having a sampler with its own granular engine makes it amazing. There are not so many synths that had one. I like it especially because it has a really fast workflow. Besides that, Pigments has a great collection of samples, and also you can use your own. So of course, combining that with other features in the synthesizer, as for example modulation, you get a nice playground to create an experiment. Other unique features, and one of my favorite because it can give weird results, is the harmonic engine. This is basically additive synthesis. That means that we can add up to 512 harmonics from the fundamental all the way up, until we have a sawtooth wave. The idea of additive synthesis is that you get different ways on how you can affect each of the harmonics. For instance, we can change the amplitude of the odd and the even harmonics. Or change the ratio between each one. And you can also change and add movement to the panning of each of the harmonics. We have 3 modes for that. With the split we can pan the odds and evens separately. Also pan them randomly. Which gives a subtle stereo effect. And the third mode is the periodic, which will sort of pan them on clusters. Other nice way to affect the sound is by applying different harmonic filters with these shapes right here. You just have to choose one shape and apply depth. The section will apply the filter to different portions of the whole spectrum. We can tilt the amplitude of each waveform, and we can choose 2 different filter shapes and morph between them. This engine is really deep, and if you want a full guide on how to make amazing sounds with it, let me know in the comments. The next thing I really love about Pigments are the effects. For instance, one of the most recent ones. The shimmer reverb is a great addition to make any sound bigger and even more epic. And it sounds especially great with the pitch shifting delay. The other thing I really love is the variety of flavors you get on the distortion. It's not only your typical overdrive or soft clipping or tape, it's also things like the germanium, which I really love, that makes this distortion really unique. It also has a really nice OTT kind of compressor, which is always useful. Now, there are other effects that I really like, but that gets me to the next point, and that's the analog emulation options inside Pigments. For instance, one of my favorite chorus, the Juno 60, and also the BL20 flanger. But it's not only about effects, we also have different analog model filters. The newer one is the MS20. They also have the Orenheim SAM, the Matrix 12, Jupiter 8, and the classic Mini Moog. Finally, my absolute favorite feature of Pigments is the sequencer. I've already made a video about it, so go watch that, but I have to mention it again. It's a sequencer or an arpeggiator. You can change all of these parameters, and on the sequence mode you can quantize the pitch on different scales, even you can make your own. But what makes this really awesome is enabling the polyrhythmic mode. Now each line will have independent lengths. So it doesn't matter if we complete a cycle, the sequence will take a lot of time to be the same. Take that for every other parameter and you'll have an ever-evolving sequence or arpeggio. What's even better to do is to use the velocity to modulate something as it's part of the sequence, for example the filter. And if you want to go even crazier, we can add modulations from the randoms and the functions, so every time a new note is triggered, we will have something completely different. So the question is, what are your favorite features of Pigments? I will see you next time, and bye bye!